What is it that makes a person cocky or arrogant, prideful perhaps, versus a person that's humble, right? Humility, somebody who's doesn't take themselves too seriously, right? What is it that makes one person go this route versus the other, right? And the answer is very simple. What separates arrogance and pride versus humility, humble, is control. Who's in control or who you think is in control, right? So if you think that you're in control, right, that you're running the show, then you're naturally going to gravitate towards pride, right? I did this, right? There's a sense of arrogance, like I'm in control, I did this, right? But if you think that you're not in control, right, then you gravitate towards humility. You gravitate towards being humble, right? It's very difficult to be grateful, to be humble over something that you feel you're in control of, right? It's usually the things that you're not in control of that are a lot easier to be grateful for, right? The family you were born into, the country you were born into, your financial class that you were born into, all of these things that are not in control, you can be grateful for. But as soon as you feel a sense of empowerment, like I did this, I'm in control, it's very difficult to feel grateful, to feel humility, right? You gravitate towards self worship, right? Like I'm in control, right? I did this, right? I know that that was the case for me when, like, I remember when I was in my 20s, I used to weigh 110 pounds, right? 110 pounds. And I wanted to, start working out, get healthier, bulk up, get a little bit of muscle. And I went from 110 pounds to 120 pounds of muscle, 130, 140. I kept working out. I was on a diet, eating the protein, getting up at 5 a.m. You know, I kept pushing it 150 pounds, 160. I kept growing and it got to my head. I was like, I'm in control. I have the I ran the miles, right? I got up in the morning, I had the diet, I lifted the weights, I had the self-discipline. I'm the one doing this. There was no humility. It was just arrogance. Like I'm doing this, right? Or nobody else is running the miles for me. I'm doing this, right? And then one day I went I went for a I went for a jog in the morning and this pit bull attacked me. It was just a random dog that just jumped on me. And after that attack, I remember going home and revisiting my perspective of, humility and being in control and self-discipline, right? Arrogance. I realized that I'm not really in control. I'm not, right? I realized that me just having an able body, just being born with 10 fingers and 10 toes to be able to work out in the first place was not within my control, right? You think you're in control, but you're really not, right? You have to play within the parameters that were given to you at birth, right? I was very fortunate that I was born healthy and functional body. I could run, push, pull, crawl, jump. I could do all these things. And I forgot about that. I forgot that all of these things were out of my control and I inherited them. And then I just became, arrogant. I'm working out, I'm getting the muscle, right? But that's not how life works, right? So if you really think about it, you're not really in control. Like what percentage of yourself right now is in control? Right? I guarantee you it's a lot less than what you think it is. Right? You can't control your heartbeat, right? It does it all by itself, right? If you really were in control, you would stop aging, right? If that's what you wanted, right? But we can't stop aging. Your body has an intelligence of its own. It ages on its own. It has its heartbeat on its own. If you were really in control and you didn't want to go to sleep, you wouldn't have to. But guess what? We have to go to sleep. The body needs to recharge, right? I started to realize that you can't really control Your body, you can only influence your body, but you're never really in control, right? And this is why a lot of people gravitate towards affirmations and other people gravitate towards like prayer, right? Affirmations versus prayer. And again, it has everything to do with control. If you think you're in control, you're going to gravitate more towards affirmations, right? I did this. I'm running the show, right? If you feel like you're not in control, then you're going to gravitate more towards like prayer, right? You're calling on a higher power. I'm not in control, so I need your help. You're praying, right? So control is what ultimately determines a person's natural gravitation towards like prayer, for example, or affirmations. It's who you think is in control, right? And these two things are very, affirmations and prayer are two very different philosophies. Okay? In both of these philosophies, these belief systems, you're channeling a higher power, right? With affirmations, you're embodying, right, your higher power. You're embodying a manifestation like I'm in control, right? With prayer, you're also channeling a higher power. But you're leaving the outcome out of your hands, right? There's humility in it. You don't have a say in it, right? That's why you're praying, right? If you had a choice, you could do it your way, but you don't have a choice. You're not in control, right? So whether you believe in affirmations or not, or whether you believe in prayer or not, it's control, the belief of who's in control, that determines if you go this way or if you go that way, right? But there's dangers to both of these beliefs. Okay? For the most part, if you pray or if you believe in affirmations, either or, right? You run the risk of having your mind go 100 miles an hour while your body's still, right? You're going through the motions in your head, but you're not really doing anything. In other words, you're just stroking your ego. You're just making yourself feel good. It's kind of like mental masturbation, right? That's all it is. You're mentally stroking your ego in order for you to feel better without you actually doing anything, right? It's just the wheels are turning, but nothing's getting done, right? You're just getting a dopamine spike. That's what it is, right? It's a dopamine spike where when you visualize, right? When you're visualizing the outcome, you want to manifest something or you're praying for something, you're visualizing the outcome, but you're not necessarily doing anything. You're just getting the reward, right? You're visualizing what you want to happen. You're visualizing the outcome, but you haven't done anything to deserve it. You're in the clouds, right? You're flying life on wings, you're in the clouds, and you're like, oh man, I can't wait to this manifests, right? Or I can't wait till this prayer comes true, right? Because a lot of people use both prayer and manifestations, affirmations, as a substitute for a genie, right? Like I'm gonna make a wish and it's gonna come true, right? So you're visualizing the outcome, but you're not visualizing the struggle that comes along with it, right? You're not visualizing the process, right? I'm not saying visualization is wrong. I'm saying when you're gonna visualize something, make sure you include the struggle, the process. Without a process, there is no outcome, right? Most people skip the struggle, skip the process, and go straight to the good part, right? The outcome. And then again, it's just stroking the ego. You're like, oh, I can't wait, right? I can't wait till this comes true, right? But you're not really doing anything. You're just reaching for the lowest hanging fruit, right? Most of these affirmations or prayers, for most people, they're for material comforts. They want something, the new car, the new house, right? It's all material, right? There's not a lot of humility in that when you really think about it. So there is an element of arrogance on both of these belief systems, right? Where you're either running the show or you're not running the show. You're either control or you're not. But there is a difference, right? On one extreme, you have self-worship where I'm manifesting what I want. I'm running the show. And in the other one, you have sort of a martyr complex, like victimization, like, oh, I'm not in control, right? I need your help, right? So which one is it? Which one is the righteous path, right? Are you in control or are you not in control, right? So, just like anything else, the truth is usually somewhere in the middle, right? It's usually both, right? So, you're not always in complete control, right? You have some control, but you're not always in complete control. And you have to know the difference, right? You're not the creator of your life. There are things out of your control, but you're not entirely um, out of control of your life. There are things that are in your control. So it's a healthy mix of, it's a healthy hybrid mix of both, where you realize you are not the creator of your life, you are the co creator of your life, right? You are the co creator of your life within the boundaries that were given to you, right? There are things that are just not going to be within your control, and you need to be okay with that. You need to realize what is it that I'm in control of and what is it that I'm not in control of, right? So like I said, it is a healthy it's a mix of both, right? Between knowing when to impose your will and when to back up, right? When you impose your will, when you use your will inevitably fails. Okay, your will can only take you so long. Eventually, your will fail, and when you fail, that's when your pride goes. Right? That's where the saying comes from. Pride goeth before thy fall. Right? In other words, right before the fall, you feel pride. Right? Self worship. I'm in control, and it's my will. And then once that doesn't happen, the pride comes crashing down. Right? The the pride is designed for the fall. Pride is designed for the fall. That's what it's there for, right? It's there. Pride is there for you to fall in order for you to cultivate humility, because you need both, right? You need humility and you also need a sense of empowerment, right? It's, am I in control or am I not in control? It's a healthy mix, right? So you don't want to be on either extreme. It's a healthy dose of humility so you're at an equilibrium, right? And it's just a matter of perspective when you really think about it. There's nothing wrong with being humble, right? It doesn't mean you're less of a person. It doesn't make you inferior. I once heard humility is not thinking. Humility is not thinking less of yourself. Is thinking of yourself less, right? Humility is not thinking less of yourself, is thinking of yourself less. And I just thought that that was the bullseye. That's exactly what it's about. At the end of the day, it is what it is. It's gonna be what it's gonna be, and that's life.